We knew where you were.
It's bad habit.
Not about 3 minutes ago. I didn't feel like we had a grudge. Oh, look at that.
Right, it's not going to say recording. So
Okay.
Can you ring a bell or something?
We on? This is Mayor's Dave. It's Wednesday, October 11th, 2023 at 6:30 PM. And I call the Aberdeen City Council meeting to order. First thing I want to say is I worked on the microphones. So I hope everybody in the audience can hear well. The catch here is for all you council members is to keep your microphones pointed at your face. Don't have them pointed up. And you'll notice that I moved the lectern over there. And the microphone on the lectern is kind of behind that speaker up there now instead of right in front of it. So that works a lot better. But it's still, you have to speak right into them. These mics are designed, they don't pick up a broad area, they're more focused.
They're not omnidirectional.
That's a good word there.
A good point you made, me, Pete, was that when we put them directly up, that they automatically reduce the sound.
They do.
We don't figure out that.
The old days, the microphones, when they were pointed at a speaker, everybody got beamed out of the room.
Yeah.
And, but this system here automatically adjusts. So rather than it, you can make these feedback, but if they start to feedback on their own, they automatically cut down. So like when the lectern was sitting in front of that speaker, it would automatically cut off. That's why everybody's taking it out all the time. I hope I figured it out. So with that said, Deputy City Clerk, will you please take a roll call?
Ellis,
Yes.
Francie,
Here.
Bacon,
Here.
Catchman,
Here.
Lawrence, Mackey,
Here.
Morrison, Martini,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Shaw,
Here.
Sedor,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Shade.
Here,
Thank you.
thank you.
I move we excuse council members Lawrence and Morrison. I second.
Lawrence, there's a motion made to excuse Lawrence and Morrison. Would you, is there anybody that has any comments? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Will you all stand and join me with the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve tonight's agenda.
I second.
Motion was made to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any comments from the public? If there are, would you please come to the lectern and the podium? We try to keep it to 3 minutes. Please, also please identify yourself.
Hamilton. I live in Hopeland. And I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the Friends of the Aberdeen Museum. And September 30th marked the 40th anniversary of the opening of the first Aberdeen Museum of History. And the City Museum Board and the Friends felt that it was important to celebrate this milestone. So the Friends were tasked with planning and hosting this event, and we were happy to do it in what we expect to be the future home of the museum. And couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. We had 170 guests, and our volunteers invested over 300 hours in putting the event together. In the process, we garnered some positive press for Aberdeen. And in advance of the event, we conducted focus groups to gather information from the community on ideas for what they'd like to see in the museum, and we continued that at the event itself. And so we have a 2-page handout here that we prepared for you. I know some of you were there. Some of you, I'm sorry, I'm nearsighted, so I know your names, but I don't know your faces. You might have been there and I just didn't see you. So, but we brought along a handout so that you could get a flavor of what occurred. But most of all, I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Shave, City Administrator Clemens, Parks Director Barnum, the City Museum Board, and the City Council for your encouragement in helping us celebrate the past and future Museum of Aberdeen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And good job. Anyone else from the audience have anything? Okay. Oh. Oh, time's up.
I just, can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm loud, I can talk loud, so I don't have, you know, I
Just speak into the mic.
so, Deborah Hodgman from Fourth Ward. I understand that we're not gonna be doing city council on Zoom any longer. I don't know how much that costs, but I'd like to encourage the city council, to continue to do that, because a lot of people can't attend in person. We come, but, I think it's a great thing to do. I think it's a great way to have the community involved in being able to attend through Zoom. And I would love to see, you know, anyone who's running for office be able to even present over Zoom, maybe after city council, so people could get to know their candidates, because we don't really have anything official that happens like that. I would love for people to be able to get to know the candidates better and where they stand on things and be able to answer questions. I think it's just a way to keep the city engaged, possibly, you know, in what's happening with Aberdeen. So that's my encouragement, is to continue to do Zoom if we can, so people can attend through Zoom. Do they have any idea how many people attended on Zoom? Pete does?
We averaged 8,
8?
and that includes the media.
Okay, and so, yeah, maybe it was expensive. Maybe we need to, you know, have more outreach to the radio
Well-
expecting to attend on Zoom.
I was I'll explain when you're
Okay, I'm done.
finished.
Okay, go ahead, go for it.
Well, I feel like I need to explain this. Normally I wouldn't speak during public comment, but because there's been a lot of controversy over this. And what happened was on Mondays prior to the meeting, we make sure the agenda gets out and that all the packets are sent out, the media gets all the information. And we have to put it in the newspaper and so on and so forth. And so then we prepare for the meeting and the Zoom. And we discovered at Monday that we didn't have Zoom. So it took a while to get to the bottom of why not. And we found in the junk mail of Patricia Soul, who was our previous finance director, that there was a notice that it expired at the end of September. So, and Patricia set that up during the COVID pandemic, and I don't really recall a whole lot of details about it, other than she was concerned about security. And so I think she went a little overboard from what we're finding now, got an expensive program. So it was somewhere, we were probably spending about $6,000 a year for an average of 8 people per meeting. And that was quite concerning. And so we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do for tonight's meeting and the next one. And so we started digging into alternatives, and I just finally said, you gotta mail that stuff, send that stuff all out to the newspaper and everything. So just put in there that we're not Zooming this meeting. Because I didn't want to try to cram something in at the last second, and hope we got it right, that it works, for tonight's meeting. And, so that's how we did it, and it stirred up quite a controversy because people are interested in being able to Zoom. And so we're looking now at a variety of options that are financially way better deals. And plus, I'm not blaming anybody for the deal we got, because there was some variety, and we got the web Zoom service, whatever that means. That was much more expensive and more secure. And now the technology's a little bit up from when we got that, and there's better options. So when hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have it all up and running. So you'll notice the television over there does have a presentation person on there from the Timberland Library. And it was because we were able to send her a Teams meeting, whatever you link. And so she's videoing, and she'll do her presentation through that. But that doesn't work the same as Zoom in order to just open it up for the public. So that's where we're at with that, and we hope to have it all fixed by next meeting. You may?
Yeah, we have yet to test out Teams in the same capacity because we don't know if it's a secure site. Zoom bombing is a very real thing for people, so we just wanted to make sure that we're able to control the permissions on Teams like we would be able to on Zoom. So we also have to test that out. So we'll hopefully get that done this week.
Okay, anyone else? Oh,
Mayor, just to add on to that, whether it's live or later, there's a new state law that as of June 2024, we are required to record and post our meetings.
yeah.
There's no requirement that they be videoed, but there is a requirement that they be recorded and posted.
Well, actually, since we got this sound system, we were recording all the meetings. They just weren't videoed. But, so I think we're in good shape there.
Is tonight's meeting being recorded?
It should be, yeah.
It is on the team.
Oh,
Okay.
So, okay, anyone else from the audience, want to speak at the podium? Try to keep it to 3 minutes, identify yourself.
3 minutes, okay, yes. Hi, my name is Joseph Powell. I own a house here in Grace Harbor in Aberdeen. I also am a 49% owner in probably the fastest growing business by some metrics, depending on how you want to look at it. We're called Powell Market Garden. We have a lot of irons in the fire, and the fire is hot. We have stuff, we're about to put an offer in for the Aberdeen School District. I think I'm producing more tomatoes than anybody else in the city proper. We're banging, we're making a bunch of bread, people love it, we're selling out. And I'm tuned on the radio this morning, and there's some sort of candidate hopeful, and he's talking about making incentives to bring outside business because they can't find any local business. I've been drumming up, I've been calling Emmerich, I've been calling Quig, I tried to work with somebody else who burned me really bad. And I have an 8-page police report that has not been followed up with. Where a real estate agent stole over $8,000 from me and my business and my family. That aside, we're contacting and trying to call everybody we can. Nobody will work with us. I have over $250,000 in hard equity to throw down. So there's a myth. I want to say it's a pure myth because there's a lot of people who want to work here in the harbor. There's a lot of people who want jobs and a lot of people who want to engage in business. And we are systematically shut out by what feels like kind of just this closed off group. When I apply for a job, they say, oh, we don't recognize any of these people that you put on for your references. So we're not going to hire you, even though you're overly qualified, even though you are fully bilingual. And it says on the substitute application for the para at the school district that you will give preference. You don't even test me to see if I'm bilingual. I'm overqualified and you won't hire me. You won't let me have a storefront. And so it's really frustrating. And I just want to call out the community here and say, if you're going to have people on the radio talking about, oh, well, nobody wants to do business here. No, I want business. I want the storefront. I have the money. I have people who are supporting me. Why am I getting no response? And that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. I'll move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, tonight's consent agenda has our minutes from the September 27th, 2023 meeting, accounts payable, payroll, and our homeless cost report for September. I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
The homeless report does include the cleanup that was recently conducted down by the camp.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is presentation. Cheryl Haywood from Timberland Library is with us on the screen over here, and she has a presentation to deliver. Well, we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say, Cheryl.
Awesome. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see any heads nod. Okay. Good evening, Mayor Shave and council members. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you some of the highlights of 2022 and some of the initiatives we are working on this year. As you know, Timberland Regional Library serves approximately 550,000 people in Grays Harbor, Lewis, Pacific, Mason, and Thurston counties. Jasmine Dickoff is your trustee serving on the board of trustees. Victoria Rivera is your library manager who is doing a terrific job. She's coming up on her 1-year anniversary with the library. I want to take this opportunity to thank the 245 staff across our district for their continued collaboration and can-do-itness over this year and last year. So here are the highlights. They're based on our strategic direction, which focuses on 3 priorities: local communities and increasing the library's presence in underserved communities, partnering with local agencies and organizations to support diverse communities, and focusing on children from birth to 5. So last year, we introduced an early literacy activity for ages birth to 6 for their parents and caregivers. It's called Grow a Reader, where the parent can or the caregiver can track the child's favorite books as the child is growing up. We expanded our library of things. So this is a collection that includes a new stargazing kits, new kitchen tools to check out, plankton kits with microscopes, thanks to the Pacific Shellfish Institute, and early math backpacks with a grant from the Capital STEM Alliance. We added additional fishing kits to check out and also Washington kits. And we got free Discover passes from the Washington State Park Foundation for people to check out as well. We opened Timberland's 29th library, the Hawks Prairie Timberland Library in Lacey, with a 3-year lease. It's located at 8205 Martin Way, and you can use it with your Timberland card from Aberdeen. We offered up an expanded access hours. So this is a service for 14 years of age and older, where people can opt in if they have a library card in good standing, where they can opt in and get a key card swipe to get into the library when the staff are not there. And so the hours are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, including Sundays and holidays. So we expanded this program to Ocean Park, Ilwaco, Nacelle, Packwood, Hoodsport, McCleary, Elma, Tenino, and Westport. Next up is Amanda Park on October 24th and Salcombe Timberland Library in Lewis County once we get new doors installed. We know that the average age of people using this service is 55 years of age. People love it. People go to, if they're a teacher, to pick up materials for their classroom, to pick up their books, to access the internet. They are shown how to use the library when the staff are not there. It's the same hours that all the libraries I've just mentioned, and it's the same key card. In 2022, we welcome 53,408 new library card holders and 12,001 new Overdrive patrons. So the Overdrive is our online resource platform for downloading tens of thousands of ebooks, e-audiobooks, and over 4,000 e-magazines. In terms of physical checkouts for Aberdeen specifically, there was an increase of 32% from 2021 to 2022. So it went from about 63,800 to 84,700. But please remember that Aberdeen in 2019, the numbers were 151,059 for that year. So there's still room to increase. In terms of Overdrive, there was an increase of 13% from 2021 to 2022. In 21, the Overdrive checkouts was 41,274. 2022 was 46,628. Now for some highlights for this year. We are partnering with Grays Harbor United Way, and they are they're acting on behalf of Grays Harbor and Pacific County to coordinate the Dolly Parton Imagination Library for children birth to age 5, where a parent or guardian signs the child up and the child receives a free book per month until they turn the age of 5. In Pacific County, I have the most recent numbers for Grays Harbor and Pacific combined. We know that there's 1,661 children enrolled. That is 35.5% of the population birth to 5 out of 4,715 children. So there's still room, a lot of room for parents to sign up their children. The next topic for this year is we've expanded our books by mail program. So we wanted to improve customer service. We wanted to expand the existing parameters that we have for our library mail-out program, also known as Books by Mail. And so now we are extending to include anyone who is physically unable to get to the library due to lack of transportation, physical impairment, or otherwise have no means of receiving materials except by mail. It started June 5th of this year, includes return postage, and allows patrons to return their library materials at no cost. And to apply for this service, people can simply fill out the Books by Mail application at trl.org. The summer library program, we had one this summer. We had 906 programs across the 7,000 square miles, and we had a little over 22,300 people in attendance, which is way up compared to summer of 2021. June of this year, we kicked off mobile services. We call it Anywhere Library. We kicked it off in Thurston County first, and we are hoping to, at least in Thurston County, we are visiting 16 to 32 sites per month. And we are in the process right now. We've just hired staff for each of the 4 remaining counties, including Grays Harbor County. So this means that by this time next year, we are very hopeful that we will be visiting far-flung locations, anywhere between 16 and 32 locations per county, which means 160 sites beyond the 29 libraries that we have. And all libraries continue as connection sites in the WorkSource system, helping both the job seeker and the small business owner across the 5-county region. And I continue to serve as the Pac Mountain board member that oversees the one-stop committee that oversees WorkSource. As always, I would like to end on a quote that is relevant to the times we are living in. Libraries will get you through times of no money. Better than money will get you through times of no libraries. Thank you very much again for this opportunity. And do you have any questions?
Anyone have questions? Well, Cheryl, that's great news. All those numbers that you shared with us. I'm impressed. But I will say, the first thing that came to my mind is I serve on the transit board as well, and the numbers riding the buses are picking up steadily. They're very impressive, but they're not up to what they were before the pandemic shutdowns. So, but it sounds great, the numbers you had. So thank you for sharing all of this for Timberland Library. Question right here.
Yeah, Cheryl, thank you for the presentation. That's really wonderful. What are your plans for 24 with the Aberdeen Library?
Good question.
Will we be seeing some remodel or?
So we are working with Ruth, who is great to work with. We are working with Ruth. We understand that the city has some pretty major projects over the next few years. And so Ruth is going to have to determine the priority of that. As we all know, Timberland paid for an architect for space planning right before the pandemic, and we put in a couple of years with that, and we had a plan, and then things happened. The pandemic happened. The former library manager got a new job with us, and Victoria came on as well. Ruth came on as well. There's just a lot going on, and so we are in talks right now with Ruth and the city to determine a timeline. Because we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to go back and refresh that space plan because needs have changed since the pandemic. Things have changed the way we're using the library and how people are using the library. And so we really need a refresh of the space plan itself before we can refresh the building.
As you say, the library is an important part of our community. And hopefully this will be a productive year for making sure the library will continue to serve many people in a number of different ways. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
I just had a follow-up question about that. Would you say, Cheryl, that the next steps for the remodel, do they lie with Timberland or do they lie with the city?
So the city owns the building, and Timberland Regional Library has an annexation agreement with the city of Aberdeen, which states that the city provides the building and does the maintenance and all that kind of stuff, right? So the city would need to be the lead on the actual construction or refresh or whatever that looks like, the RFP process, all of that. We come in when it's the architectural space plan. So we will pay for that and we will do that. And we have to go back and do that again. So that could possibly be all of next year, but I need the okay from Ruth to do that. And then it would be up to Ruth to decide if it could be done, when it can be done. Because you have to be the lead because you're also the financial the city that is responsible for keeping and making sure all the bills are getting paid. for that project.
Is that because of the endowment money that's coming in for it? Or
That's
is it-
separate. That's a separate thing. It's just, it's the annexation agreement, which states that the city provides the building and it does the upkeep of that building, both the custodial and the maintenance and any big projects on it. So, but it's great that the city of Aberdeen has the Shirk Fund, which lies in the Grace Harbor Community Foundation, which my understanding is that it's about $11 million right now, and it's earmarked exclusively for the Aberdeen Timberland Library. No other city in our district has that kind of special grant funding, or not grant, but a fund like that for their city library. So I think Aberdeen's pretty lucky to have that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll just close my questions by saying that right now we're in the budget season, which I'm sure, you know, TRL is as well. So if there
Yes.
is an ask of the city for something that is budgetary, then for 2024, then now would be a great time to get that into the city so that it can be appropriately planned. So if there is something that the city that you're looking for the city to do that involves money, please connect with Ruth on that right away.
I will. And right off the top of my head, I would think it would not be, because we would be paying for, actually the last time with the architect, that payment, I believe, came out of the Shirk Fund as well, because the money is there for it. So I don't think there's any money that needs to come from the city of Aberdeen for this next step, but there needs to be a commitment on the part of the city as to the timeline. And I understand that the city has 4 or 5 very big projects in the next few years.
Yeah, well, we don't want to leave, I mean, I will say, I don't want to leave the library behind in this
Yeah.
step. Maybe it's worthy of further discussion.
Yes, yes, and
Workshop.
then, and then I just wanted to add too, that with the RFP, I mean, what could help the city would be an RFP that where you hire a whatever you call that, like a construction manager just for that project, so that you don't have to use staff, city staff resources. You have somebody on site overseeing that project the whole time, and that could come from the Shirk Fund as, I would hope that could come from the Shirk Fund as well.
I thought that was the step where we were at, but anyways, we can take it offline, but I thought we were there before.
We were, but then the pandemic happened and then things changed in terms of our needs, in terms of the space plan. We wanna brush off the dust of that plan and make it a little bit fresher, because that was done before the pandemic and people are using the building differently now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl, for being here with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. I guess who forgot it was even the mayor's report. I spent, with some of the council members and staff, we spent about 8 hours in meetings about the levy project this week, or last week. And that's quite a chore, figuring out all the details on that. But you'd think, as I'm winding down, I'd find ways to get out of doing stuff, not being so busy. And it hasn't worked out that way at all. So I've been here pretty much every day, all day. It seems like there's always something that comes out. So anyway, I'm gonna move on to council reports. Anyone from the council? Councilmember Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that I had a chance to participate in the 40th anniversary party at the museum. That was wonderful. You people did a fantastic job, so thank you for that.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
I'll chime in because it was covered in the newspaper beforehand. I had the opportunity to attend the 100 plus women, where 100 women with $100 that decide which local organization should get the $10,000. Well, there was more than 100 women there last night, and our $15,000 went to Family Promise of Grace Harbor, which helps homeless families.
Very nice. Anyone else? Okay, move on to city administrators report.
Thank you, Mayor. Boy, it's been a very, very busy last couple months. But in the last couple weeks, since we all met last time, I had a meeting with the Port of Grace Harbor. We had a government to government meeting, which was very informative. I wanted to better understand their experience with the homeless population. Some of you may know that the port owns properties throughout Aberdeen, and they have been kind of having to deal with, they've had their own experiences that they wanted to share with me. So I thought that was very interesting to learn from them. So the next group that I'm going to be meeting with is the school district. And so hopefully I can set something up with Superintendent Fake, and we will begin the conversation about homelessness and their student population as well. So I also attended very important like FEMA planning meeting as well. And so we're starting to make some pretty big decisions with the levy. So that's how that's looking. I also had a chance to meet with Derek Kilmer's district representative, Haley Shane. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And she wanted to understand what the city's priorities were. And I was able to give her some priorities that included the levy project, homelessness, and economic development. And so we talked through a lot of potential. She's been able to send a lot of grants my way. So hopefully the city will be able to qualify for some of those. I sent all of you, or I also filled out for the city a survey on the state of cities right now. And from AWC wanted to know what our legislative priorities are going to look like. They have some legislative priorities. They will have a legislative priorities session coming up. So I'll send that out to all of you when I have a chance tomorrow. I'll send that out to you. There's also something I see on your, the table there for new council member orientation. For those of you who will be returning in December, there's an opportunity to attend one of those, just kind of as a refresher. We'll also encourage our new council members to attend it as well, and our new mayor. Lastly, Greater Grace Harbor is hosting an event. I sent an email out to all of you. I did check with the attorney. You are able to attend that event. It's the mayoral debate event. So I encourage you, if you would like me to sign you up, I've already sent a list out to them. But I gave you until I believe Thursday morning to send it. If you would like to attend, you can let me know after the meeting today, and I'm happy to send them your confirmation to attend. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Any of the directors that are here have anything tonight? Seeing none. I'll move on to page 2. Finance Department, Chair report by Councilmember Pearson.
We have a request from the Finance and the Parks Director recommending that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the amended contract with our Aberdeen, allowing them to use their 2023 lodging tax grant funds for maintenance to the various downtown murals. And I would like to add that if they don't use this funding by the end of the year, then they lose it. So I would definitely recommend that we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion?
I have to recuse myself on this one because of possible.
I can hear.
He wants to recuse himself from this.
Oh, okay. Okay. Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any further discussion, Councilmember Shaw?
Yeah, this is just discussion. It's, I'll support the motion, but there's probably a lot of people in town who remember when Bob McCollum was painting that mural, just the daily drive over the bridge, watching it come to life. It's an amazing mural, and before I was so glad when it looked like we were gonna be able to save it, and I'm really disappointed. It looks like we're not going to be. That mural took a lot longer to paint than it should have, because people like me would stop and talk to Bob and Ruth and go over there during my lunch hour, and it's, I'm just sad to see that we're not gonna be able to save it.
The Swanson's one, Southside Swanson's, right?
Southside Swanson's, the one with the sunset
Yeah.
showing the mills. It's an amazing,
Oh, I didn't,
intricate piece of work, and I'm just sorry.
oh, wow, I didn't even know there was a issue that we were gonna lose that year.
Well, if we approve this tonight, their attempts to save it will be diverted to other projects.
That's an interesting twist on that. That I didn't know.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy, is that correct? That's how I read the memo.
That is correct.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public safety,
Thank you, Mayor Shea.
Councilmember Ross.
Our committee met this evening at 6 o'clock, and we have nothing on the agenda, but I have a couple reports from our chiefs. Beginning with the City of Aberdeen Fire Department. The call statistics for the month of September were 516, bringing the total to 4,732 for the year. That's 2.53% above last year. The homeless response data, EMS responses for last month were 49, fire responses were 7 for a total of 56. And the overdose response data for the month of September is 26 incidents, bringing the total for the year up to 179. And from the Aberdeen Police Department, their activity report shows 25,500 calls so far in 2023. It's still trending down slightly from last year's record numbers. And they handled 52 calls on East State Street and East River Street in September. They've made 12 proactive arrests for possession of narcotics, all have been methamphetamine cases since the drug laws went into effect on August 15th. And the roof over the police department is nearly complete, and they're all happy about that. Regarding personnel, the police officer written testing period closes on Friday. Police officer Dakota Renninger successfully completed his probation on October 6th and was granted permanent status. They have 7 interviews on Thursday for the soon-to-be vacant record specialist position. They have 1 police officer and 1 police services officer in field training, with another police officer graduating soon. So that's it for public safety this evening.
Thank you. And again, let me say that we'll be having a sale on rain catch buckets from the police station, shortly. Moving on to, Public Works, chair report by Councilmember Shaw.
Public Works is bringing one report forward this evening. It is a request from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council authorize the City Forester to prepare the recently harvested land at Lake Aberdeen for reforestation. I recommend we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made, seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? When you're just, not hearing any discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to, special committee items. I have an appointment tonight. The Arts Commission's had 2 meetings and we've had an empty seat. And so tonight I would like to appoint, Lee Bacon to the Arts Commission. And I'd like the council's confirmation.
So moved.
I second.
Thank you. Motion was made, seconded, that Lee Bacon be appointed to the Arts Commission. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
I know we have a lot of very qualified, members of the Arts Commission. But as we fill positions, what I'm not seeing is, representatives of our different communities. And I would hope that as vacancies come up, that we we do some outreach to the Hispanic community, Native community, that we really try and bring in a diversity of membership.
Thank you. Not to put you on the spot, did you have any comment to that? You know, I know I put you on the spot. He's our representative on the Arts Commission. The commission has actually talked about that and is planning, like a get to know us event. And they're also mentioned that to reach out to everybody. And there's projects they're considering, there's ideas they're considering. There's only been 2 meetings, and so mostly what's been going on is everybody's getting to know each other and kind of lay out the ideas of what they're gonna try to be doing, so.
If it helps you, dollars, we had a presentation on creative districts, and that was one of the main focuses of diversity, so it's done.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll let Lee know and we can be at our next meeting. And we are gonna have another meeting in 2 weeks. We're gonna try to have 2 meetings a month till we got some ground rules laid out, things moving. Okay, I'm gonna open the floor up again for public comments. Is there anyone, since we've gone through the meeting, want to comment on anything? All right, well, thank you all for being here. With that,
Mayor Shave, I've moved to adjourn. Excuse me.
a comment?
Yes, actually, I would like council to consider amending the agenda for future agendas to add after the second public comment period, for the good of the order. So it's written in, and this gives council members a place to talk about non-committee meeting, things of interest to the community, other events that are coming up, or comments on what's going on in our wards. It could be very fruitful, and I felt like without this opportunity to talk, we've lost a bit of getting to know what each other's thinking and what other things are going on.
Okay, Councilmember Ross.
My understanding when we discussed the agenda earlier, that's what number 9 council reports is for. We just moved it up higher in the agenda.
That's on me. The mayor asked me to put that last one in and I didn't get it in, so I apologize for that. I'll make sure it's reflected in the next agenda.
So we're going to add another council comment period.
It's just that for the good of the order.
Okay.
And it would also give us an opportunity as we hear from the public. Normally, we don't engage in back and forth during public comment. This would give us a few minutes just to provide a little bit of feedback for folks so they know that they've been heard.
Councilmember Sedor, did you have?
Complaint. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else for the good of the order?
Unlike that, I got one more.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want, I forgot to mention that, we have quite a few people that will be attending the Aberdeen High School Career Day. We missed opportunities in the past, so I'm really thankful to the efforts of Danny Smith, our HR director. I actually just asked her to go and represent the city, and she just, as inclusive as she is, she got everyone we have police representing, down there. We have fire that will be going down here to represent. I don't even know who else, parks and, I'm sorry?
And building department.
and the building department. So we really want to expose our youth to more opportunities, especially here in the city, as we have trouble recruiting and retaining certain talent. We want to really encourage the youth of our area to, you know, that Aberdeen's a great place to live and to stay and to play. And so we want them to know that we have good jobs here. So thank you, Danny. Thank you, Director Smith, for your work on that.
Great. Okay, anything else?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion was made, seconded to adjourn. If there's no objection, I will adjourn this meeting.